everybody and welcome to this video in which we are going to be going over dictionaries in Python. So this is just a very simple and basic introduction to dictionaries. Let's have a look how we're going to set them up. Well, we're going to use the curly brackets like that. So you're going to need the shift key to get those curly brackets. They are not these. That will make a list to remember. If you've seen lists, and hopefully you have, that's for this. These curly brackets are going to be for the dictionary. So let's give a dictionary a name, and let's imagine we're out on a piece of field work for science, and we're just kind of recording how many animals we see in our local area. So a dictionary is a good use case for this because we're going to want to record the name of the animal and the number of animals that we saw. So this is really a great example for when we might want to use a dictionary. Let's call this dictionary animals underscore seen. And then we're going to assign to this a dictionary like that. Okay, that's an empty dictionary, but we're going to put some values in. So let's come down. And dictionaries work with key value pairs. Key and value pairs, they are linked together. So the key can be a string, it can be an integer, it can be a floating point number, it could also be a tuple, but we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to have strings. So let's do the name of the first animal. So animal seen, let's say we saw some cats. Okay, that's the key. And then we're going to put a full colon, and that separates the key from the value. Value, we saw 8 cats. Okay, and that's it. We've already created a dictionary. So we've got one key value pair in it, but it's a dictionary. So let's just print it. There we go. Print it out, and let's have a look at that. Not from there, but from the terminal. And there we go. Cats 8. There you go. All right, working already. But of course, we can add more key value pairs. Just separate them with a comma. Right, comma after the value, and let's do another one. Okay, dogs would probably make sense. Maybe we saw 2 dogs, and then we could do another one, comma, and we could have maybe monkeys, and maybe we saw 5 monkeys, and then maybe we could have another key here, another type of animal, I don't know, skunks, like that. Maybe there would not too many skunks around. Fortunately, I think they smell bad sometimes. So there we go, and there's one. So that's it, that's our dictionary. Animal seen, and we're recording, as you can see, key value pairs, and then we print it out. Let's save it, and let's see the difference here on the dictionary. There we go. Okay, so we've got key value pair, comma, key value pair, comma, key value pair, comma, key value pair, like that. Now, when it comes to the values, we don't have to, we're not just restricted in integers. Actually, with dictionaries, we can use any data type at all as the value. And there's different use cases why you might want to do that. Here we're using whole numbers, it makes the most sense. You could do floating point numbers, 8.2. I don't know if you can have a pointer of a cat, but it doesn't matter, it's just to prove that we can use floating point data types. We can use strings as well, dogs, hello. I know it doesn't make any sense, it's just to prove that we can. We could also use Boolean values, so we could just put in there true. We could even put in here a list or another dictionary as the value, right? Let's just do that. So let's have a list of strings, right? So like this, and then let's save that and let's print that out. As you can see, it works. Right, skunks is now, the value is now a list. We've got the Boolean value true there for monkeys. We've got a string there and a float point there. Of course, that makes no sense in this use case, but as you're working with dictionaries, just please remember you can use any data type you like, and you can mix them all up in dictionaries. Pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to what it was. I can't remember. Let's just put some numbers. I think there was a lot of monkeys hanging around for whatever reason. Maybe it was 5. I don't think there was many skunks. I think we had 1 skunk. Okay, so let's say a couple more skunks have turned up. Okay, fine. Let's just make sure that still all works as we expect. Yes, it does. So we've gone back to integer data types. Okay, what else can we do with dictionaries? Well, we could, now we've got the dictionary, we could actually add a new key value pair. And before we do that, let's actually just index it. So let's just say we want to know how many dogs we saw. Well, we're going to use this, right? So these square brackets to index, like we do always in Python, really. And in here, we're going to put the key name that we want to find. So we're going to do that, and it will give us how many dogs we saw. So it will give us the value of the key we specified. So we're going to come back here, animal scene, and we're going to do our square brackets to index it. As you can see, it's already saying, well, which one do you want? Let's say dogs, like that. Okay, and that will tell us the value for dogs. We expect it to print out, therefore, of course, 2. And it does indeed print out 2. We could go back here and we could just change this to monkeys, and we expect it to print out now 5, of course, and it prints out 5. So that's how we can access the values. We're using the key to get the value. Dictionary, right? Think about it, a dictionary, just like a word and a definition in a regular dictionary. You look up the word to get the definition. Here, we're using the key to get the value. Okay, and that's really where the name comes from in Python, why it's called a dictionary. We can now, coming back to what I was going to say, we can now add new key value pairs to the dictionary. So let's do animal scene, and we're going to add another animal. See, we index it like that, and we put something that does not exist yet, and it's going to create it. It's okay, it doesn't exist yet, I'm going to create it, I'm going to add it to the end of the dictionary. Okay, so let's think of another animal, an interesting animal, I don't know, ants. Okay, ants, might have seen a lot of ants. So we can now give it a value, let's say loads of ants, 125 ants. So the point is, we're saying to Python, okay, in this dictionary animal scene, we want to add this new key, ants, because it's not there, so add it, please, and then give it the value 125. And now when we print out this new dictionary, well, the same dictionary, but with the new key value pair, we're going to see that. And in fact, let's get rid of this index here so we can see the original full dictionary, and we can kind of see the difference here when we come to this. In fact, let's clear this terminal. And let's print it now. There we go. You can see didn't have ants, and we've added it. Ants 125. Happy days are here again. Ants are everywhere. Or if you like ants, happy days, I guess. If you don't, probably not a very nice day at all. Ants everywhere. Ugh, disgusting. All right. So what else can we do? We can change the values. So let's say maybe we pour a load of boiling water onto the ants. Not that you do that. It's horrible and it's wrong. But maybe you didn't like ants. You want to boil them to death. So now we can change it. Maybe there's only 2 ants left who are alive anyway. So let's go back to animals scene, and we're going to index it to ants, poor old ants. And we're going to just, I said 2, okay, so we've boiled, the rest, 123 of them are dead, and there's 2 left, you see, and now we can just print animals scene like that, a live animal scene, I should say. And what we're expecting, of course, is, we don't have any ants, and then there's 125 ants, and it's a plague, and it's horrible, and they're crawling over everything and eating our jam sandwiches, and then we boil them, and then we get 2 left. The point is, we are reassigning this, so we're getting a new value to this, and let's save it. I think I did save it. No, I just saved it. Now, let's have a look. Yeah, there you go, you see. Okay, no ants, loads of ants, disgusting. Okay, boil them, and then we've just got 2 left. Okay, so we can change the values. Of course, we could change the values of the cats and the dogs. Don't boil them. That would be really wrong, and certainly not the monkeys either. But you can reassign values. And anything else I wanted to go over with dictionaries? Probably not, really. I do want to go over how we can loop through dictionaries, how we can iterate, that's the fancy word for loop, how we can loop through dictionaries, but that's going to be a whole different technique card, because this is just a simple one, so I'll do a different video for that one. If you're interested, see the technique card, which is looping through, iterating through dictionaries. That's useful, it's important to know. And we'll go over a special method called items, which is really good. But for now, you now know how to set up dictionaries, how to add values to dictionaries, how to change values in dictionaries, and how to access specific values like whatever it is that you want there, using that right there. So let's just save that and finish on that one there. Just like so, you can see it's 5 at the bottom, right? Just that value there. Okay, hope the video was useful, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, until next time, take care.